and it's our second podcast of the year. I'd like to welcome my partner in crime, Mr. Mok Slim. Hi, Mok. And
Hello.
if I haven't already told you, Happy New Year.
I think
But
I'm going to quote Larry David and tell you that there is definitely a cutoff time to Happy New Year, right?
well, that's what I was gonna ask. So, have you been Happy New Year recently? And I mean seriously, not just now.
I have
A joke.
actually. And I Happy New Year'd someone as well.
Okay.
Only yesterday in Mexico.
Was it
And
on purpose or inadvertent?
now in Mexico, it was a customer I had at work. And I kind of felt bad because before the holiday period, I had to do something for them and I didn't. And I got sick. And then I used the whole, I thought I sent it to you, but it seemed to have gone to my outbox. Um, Look, I just resent it now, but rest assured, it was sent. And then I'll leave the email below with the sign that the email was sent
Uh,
before the holiday period. But then I realized I did that already, and I'm like with something else months before. So then I said, maybe he's upset. So, anyways, I had told him as well that I wasn't well, which is the truth, before the holidays and everything, and that I'd still like to work with him. And then when I called him, it was more a situation where he was like, "Yes, hello," and he just, out of pressure, peer pressure, I threw in a Happy New Year. And he's like, sí, sí, feliz años. He told me. I'm like, yeah, feliz años. You know what I realized as well, bro? One thing, right? Everything was fine with the customer anyway, rest assured. And there was no issues. And he wasn't really upset and he didn't mind at all. And he had, he's still happy to go ahead with everything. But one thing I did realize is that I have another Spanish customer and he spoke perfect English throughout the whole process of him wanting something. And when he didn't want it anymore, or when I asked him for money for it, his English was gone.
oh.
like barely two words together. He just went full on Spanish. Like I get the whole point of like if someone knocks on my door, I have gone before. Like sorry, English, not first language. I throw in some Arabic words, turn around, shout at my daughter like a crazy madhouse. But at least that guy doesn't know me. Like, I've spoken to the Spanish guy before. We've spoken, and he's even mentioned technical terms in English. And now it's more like, I don't understand, money. What you are trying to say?
I mean, that works normally. I guess with the people do it with the police. When
Yeah,
police
yeah,
stop
yeah,
you, it's
yeah,
like, yeah, you pretend
yeah.
you're a foreigner.
Yeah,
Especially
yeah,
because in the UK they're quite scared to offend people. So if you pretend you're a foreigner, they'll
yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's
be
a good
nicer
point.
to you.
Larry David had a good point. He was on, I can't remember, one of those shows, Colbert or Conan, and recently, and he was saying, about the New Year wishes, and he's like, the thing is, before the New Year happens, people are still wishing you Happy New Year. They throw it in with the Merry Christmas,
That's
Merry
right.
Christmas. And he's like, and the year, like, it hasn't even happened the year yet, and you're still throwing it in. It's like, in case I don't see you in 2020, I'll just make sure that I've already wished you the Happy New Year. That's it. I don't know.
Actually, I never thought of that. People,
Yeah,
they do it during that holiday period, the Christmas period, and then they're doing it probably weeks into the new year.
yeah, yeah,
My
yeah.
plan this year, anyway, is to wait until February and then wish a couple of people Happy New Year and just see their
Oh,
reactions.
do it, do it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Do it publicly on like Facebook or social media, and see what they
Ah,
would reaction. I think
that's
that would
even
be better.
better.
Yeah.
Yeah, because if it's just a conversation, they might just
Brush it
wave it
off,
off,
or
yeah, and just carry on. But
yeah,
if it's there on Facebook or wherever, they have time to think. They're like, oh, this guy just wished me Happy New Year.
yeah, 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 yeah. Exactly. No, no, no. Do it.
Yeah, yeah, I'll
Um,
do it.
there's a few accounts I've noticed recently, and I'll send you a couple. I noticed it's like those. I don't know if they're made up Facebook accounts or whatever, but the whole purpose of them would be to throw in like that. Remember some picture Maria sent, but actually it's on that other group. But anyways, they throw in a comment that is very awkward within a conversation. You
Okay.
know, and it's just weird. It makes it really funny though. I'll send you a few later. Anyways, it's another conversation. Sorry.
But yeah, so you recently said that or is it today that you just took out your Christmas decorations, or at
No, it's
least
not.
tidied them up?
I did, yeah, man. Like to be honest, I did all the decorations before New Year. Took the decorations off before New Year's Eve. I took them off. I think even after Boxing Day. It's called
Ooh,
Saint Stephen's Day here.
that's
Yeah,
early.
I went super early, and I put them all in one bag. And the wife told me that they could break, so to put them in 3 bags. And I delayed it for 2 3 weeks. But they're every time I walk in the living room, I still find something, and I'm like, oh shit, I forgot to take this off. Yeah, that on the tree. I think outside my house, I still have those spiral things on my entrance, like the decorations for outside. They're still on. I'm just gonna keep them till Easter, and then I'll have my Easter decoration.
Wait, how much decoration do you actually have?
I don't have that much. I'm much more an indoor decorator than an outdoor decorator. Like I don't go crazy with the lights outside or anything like that. I'm not. They used to when Sarah was small in her house. They used to do all the decorations outside, and their neighbors do. And some people here go crazy, man. Like I'm sure in the UK as well, but
I
with
mean,
the
it's
outdoor
it's not very
decorations,
common, but my impression is in America they go over the top
yeah,
with the
yeah,
lights. They
America
pretty
as
much
well.
cover the outside of their house with lights. But
Yeah,
I've never been, but that's what I see in the movies.
yeah, I think in Ireland it's starting to get a lot like that with America stuff. So, like, for example, even Halloween, there's been some houses here. They even had a fog machine in their front garden. Like you
Oh,
walk and it's like
wow.
mist,
I like
like
that.
yeah, but they went, and this is Ireland. Like Halloween wasn't a big thing. Well, technically it's a Celtic holiday, but still, it wasn't like Americanized for at least 10 years. I think like only the last 10 years it started to people started decorating and stuff, trick or treating.
Yeah, I mean, I'm guessing houses that do that probably are houses that have lots of children. 'Cause I
Yeah,
don't think adults would care just by
adults still
themselves.
do. Adults, I think a lot of them, like here, they go to, like, for example, they have this massive field that they transform into like a farm horror house barn. And it's like a barn, and you go in, and it's so muddy, and people try to scare you, and there's dead animals, like blood everywhere and shit like that. And a lot of adults do all that kind of stuff. There is a lot of like Halloween parties as well. Even at work, they decorate the office. Like, no one really cares, but they do it anyways. I don't mind. I like Halloween, to be honest. It's a holiday. I don't go over the top with the decorating. I always find that the scary houses are the ones that aren't decorated like mine. And I just leave a candle and pumpkin outside or something, like very, and everything is dark. And then whenever I go get the door, I like do a big stomp, like as if the kids will be like, and then I open the
Ah.
door and it's a completely normal guy, and they're like, ah.
Oh, so wait, so in your neighborhood it's quite common to have children coming for trick or treats.
Yeah. Most of the time, to be honest, so far I've been here 5 years, and I think I've had 2 trick or treating years, and the other 3 years I was either away, yeah, most probably away, outside the country, or so I didn't get to, you know, give my candy away. It sounded
Yeah,
wrong.
I think I think definitely children make it more fun because if it was just
It
adults,
does.
it'd be people dressing up and just
Yeah,
getting drunk in costumes.
I
Really,
tell
that's
you.
all it is.
It is, and I tell you one thing I realized, right, about the Halloween. I don't know if I told you this point, but I realized any country that has Halloween quite celebrated does not have a carnival, and vice versa. The States, apart from New Orleans, okay, they have their Mardi Gras, but the States don't really have carnivals. Cyprus that has a carnival, or Trinidad and Tobago, or Brazil, or all those that have carnivals, they don't have Halloween. And then places like the UK, Ireland, who don't really have carnivals, they do Halloween.
Yeah, I think historically that's true, but it's probably changing now. I think all countries are adopting both, or they adopt everything. Because I think
Yeah.
Cyprus, they're starting to do
It's
Halloween now.
Yeah, it's more for the shops as well to make money. Like what I mean, you're giving a reason for people to spend money on a costume or money on decorations or money on,
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I had a story to tell you. First of all, tell me, do you still have your decorations up?
No, so in our household, I don't know if it's a Swedish tradition or just my missus' family tradition, but they have to keep it 1 week after New Year, so around the 6th or the 7th, that's when they
I
do
know
it.
why. Because just in case Odin is real and they can go to Valhalla, they need that extra week.
That's well, Sweden. I mean, in Sweden, Christmas is people take it seriously. They have traditions that they won't let go of. They just have to stick to them.
That's good.
Yeah.
I
Well,
had
good or bad.
I had the semi-Swedish Christmas actually, because this year I know that. Correct me if I'm wrong, and I could be completely wrong, but I know that Swedish aren't really turkey and this; they're more fish.
Yeah.
And I had a fishy Christmas this year, and it was amazing. By the way,
I mean, fish and ham and meatballs.
Oh yeah.
And sausages actually. So everything.
Okay. No, but like they wouldn't have a leg of lamb or a turkey, stuffed turkey, or
No, they don't have those things.
Yeah,
they have
like
more
the roast
Swedish oriented food.
potatoes, all that gravy and all that. It's probably not very Swedish, but they do like fish. Sometimes they would have a lot of fish. I remember because I went to Christmas a long time ago at Finnish people's house, and Finnish, I'm guessing, being close enough neighbors, would be very similar. And they did tell me Scandinavians in general, they like to eat fish for Christmas.
Yeah, I mean, I think they have salmon, smoked salmon, some caviar sauce, or actually caviar. Sometimes they use proper caviar, and dills. I think like some fish with dills.
Yeah. When you said proper caviar, it was like proper, not the one with the tube. Yeah.
Yeah, because they do use
there
that
is a tube
as well.
The tube one, I remember. Yeah, it's like they put it on bread, like butter, like paste. I remember. I mean, I have a good friend of mine who's Swedish, so a lot of the time I learned all that stuff from like those things from her. She was telling me, and like there's another thing she was telling me. She said, "You know what's funny in Sweden?" She's like, most people, when you speak, especially the older people, they wouldn't smoke necessarily cigarettes, but they always have tobacco in their mouth. I forgot what it's called.
Yeah.
It's a Swedish name, smeg, something
snus.
Like snus. I knew there was an S in something. Yeah, snus. You snooze, you lose.
Well, you know what? I tried snus once.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And, I thought it'd be a piece of cake. I thought, you just put tobacco in. It was tough. I put it in. I think the first 10 minutes, I'm like, oh yeah, nothing's happening. Then, like after 10 minutes, I started sweating.
Oh shoot!
Yeah.
And how long are you supposed to keep it for? How long do they keep it for?
I'm not sure. Maybe half an hour to an hour. It depends how.
Okay, heavy smokers, yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, I need to drink water. I was like,
And
all that
would
kind of
Jumberg
stuff.
snooze?
No, she doesn't do anything.
Okay, no, I didn't know if it was like I can snooze when I'm home and then go back to the UK and stop snoozing,
No,
or if it's like if you snooze for life.
No, her sister and like her father, pretty much her whole family do it regularly, all the time. I mean,
Yeah.
The thing.
Yeah, it's weird.
It gives you a high as well, apparently.
Okay, but what I was gonna say is it worse for you or not as bad for you as smoking? Because you're not inhaling or exhaling, you're getting your nicotine. Maybe it's bad for your teeth or your gums.
Yeah, it's
I don't see it bad for your lungs. It can be bad for your lungs, can it? I don't know.
No, I think most of them there they get like gum cancer and all that kind of stuff. I
Yeah,
don't think.
gum, teeth, throat, maybe because you're swallowing the tobacco juice. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah,
But I don't know. I mean, I probably would prefer doing this thing, the snooze thing, even especially because it gives you a high rather than just.
yeah.
But maybe cigarettes give you a high. I've never done cigarettes
Mm.
either.
No,
When you
they don't.
inhale, they go
The
to
the
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 head,
the
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 fumes.
cigarette. I'll tell you what it does. All it does is the first cigarette of the day, or if you don't smoke at all, the first one you'll be like a bit dizzy for like few seconds, maybe a couple of minutes, but then it's normal. And it's very weird as well. It's an cigarettes. Funnily enough, a lot of them they have a different taste. You would taste the difference, right? But for someone, if someone smokes and then stops smoking and then goes back to smoking a cigarette, that has the worst taste, even worse than before you even started smoking and you had your first cigarette. Does that make
Oh
sense?
no,
It's
it does. I
very
mean, it
weird.
doesn't because I never thought of it. Like,
And I know from like I quit smoking a few times, and I remember that like feeling, when someone told me I'd like hold my cigarette and I'd be like, let me have a drag, like it's weird. Um,
that's
but
very
and other
interesting.
people told me as well the same thing. But funnily enough, the first cigarette you ever had when you were a teenager or in your 20s or whatever age you started smoking wouldn't have tasted bad at all. If anything, it would have been like, oh, this is pretty relaxing. I see why people smoke. I'm actually a bit more calm now and less stressed. Uh,
Well, I always had the opposite opinion. I always thought anyone who started smoking must have gone through a rigorous period of forcing themselves to smoke because they couldn't have liked it the first time.
you see now. Having said that, Jimmy, who's Jerry's brother, is completely anti-smoke, hates smoking, hates anything to do with smoke. Um, says he's allergic, but nothing really happens. He just like tears a bit, but he's not like. But I remember when we were in Amsterdam, and he's like, "Oh, you guys are having a joint. Let me try and smoke something here." And he said he tried it, and I remember as well. He just started sneezing. It was like, this is horrible. And then he had this. We said, "Have a cigarette. See if you." And it was the same thing. So he just went to the red light district, and we didn't see the rest of Jimmy the rest of the.
So I guess he was allergic in the end. He didn't make it up.
Yeah. Because I didn't think you could be allergic to smoke. You know what I mean? It's not something you're, I don't know, on your rubbing on your skin or digesting or something. It's
I mean, the human body can probably be allergic to anything. Sometimes you could be allergic to, you know, pollen, or you're not really
yeah,
directly interact, or maybe the molecules are within,
yeah.
and but smoke molecules would act the same.
Yeah. I imagine you had a fear allergy, right?
Fear allergy.
Now think about it, right? So anytime someone, for example, someone goes at gunpoint and be like, "Give me your wallet," and because you're allergic to fear and you're scared at that point, you just swell up, be like, "Listen, if you don't step back, it's like you get in control." And he's holding the gun. If you don't step back, I'm just going to continue swelling and die. Do you want that, or were you just looking for a? And be like, he'll leave you alone. Fear allergy will get you out of trouble instead of getting you in trouble, like other allergies.
Well, okay, I like that. That
That would be my
situation you created,
superpower.
but I'm thinking that it's gonna be such a pain
It is a pain.
because anytime, say, you are nervous for an interview, it's
Just
gonna
swell
mess
up.
you up.
Give me the job, or I'll swell up and blow up in your office.
Yeah, well, or maybe the Hulk has a fear allergy. Whenever he's
Yeah. Maybe
scared, he
that's
just
why
hulks
his.
up.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe that's how it is. It's basically the Hulk's problem.
But it's not fear with him. It's, I guess, anger or
Yeah,
emotion that he can't
yeah,
control it.
yeah, yeah. As far as we know, as far as he shows us, deep inside, he's just a man,
That's
green or
right.
not green.
He could hide his fear
Yeah,
through anger.
yeah,
People do that.
exactly. I hated that they did I think if I'm not mistaken, Edward Norton became the Hulk at one point. which was a
Yeah,
bit
he
weird.
was. He was.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. They've had so many Hulks. Um, yeah, I had that interesting last week adventure that I wanted to let you know about.
Okay.
So the other day I went to the supermarket and on my way back, and it's a typical female thing in general. I'm sure you get that sometimes, where it's like, do you need anything from the supermarket? Do you need anything from the supermarket? Do you need anything from the supermarket? No, 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 I don't need anything. Come home. Can you get this from the supermarket? Okay. Go to the
Happens
supermarket.
all the time, by the
Yeah,
way.
yeah, yeah. Goes to the supermarket. On the way back, Sarah messages me. She's like, "Oh, by the way, while you're there, this is on the way back already." She's like, "Get a mouse trap." I'm like, "Sarah, I'm already on the way back." She's like, "Okay, but the mouse is in your recliner seat." I'm like, "Oh shit! I have one seat in the house. You know, it's my recliner chair. It's where I sit. It's like, I come back from home work. I'm a bit like the dad in the Goldbergs, except I shower. I don't just take my trousers off and go and sit down. But I go, I do my things, and then I come down, and that's it. I'm done for the night. I'm going to sit in my recliner and watch TV." Um, but anyways, so I went back and got the mousetrap, and for the first couple of days, it was very much a strategy game between me and this mouse. I put the mousetrap, and a couple of times I come, the food is gone, the mousetrap didn't click. I thought
Okay.
that's a bit weird, So I replace it. I tried different things, chocolate first, and then I tried blue cheese, etc. But anyways, one of the days, like 3 days had passed, and Sarah had told me maybe he's moved to the kitchen because I haven't heard him coming from your recliner chair, and might as well put a trap in the kitchen as well. So I put two traps. On the Thursday, where was it? On the Thursday, yes. No, sorry, the Wednesday. I came home and I said, let me check behind the couch what's going on. And I noticed the trap was flicked, but there was no mouse. And then not far from the trap was this round gray thing with a tail. That was the mouse, but there was no head. I
Oh.
was like, where the hell is the head? Where did the head go? So I'm like, Sarah, is this it? And she's like, yeah, 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 go, pick it up and blah, blah. So I go get a bag, like one of those doggy bags to pick up dog poo. And as I go to grab it, the fucking thing is alive.
Oh.
It moves all over my hand. Then I kind of, because I'm holding it in the bag, but the bag is like open. So
Yeah.
the mouse is kind of trying to get out of the bag, and I panic, and I just went like that, and the mouse is like literally in the air. Caught it directly with my other hand, except it didn't have a bag, so I had the mouse in my hand alive, and I'm panicking. What the fuck do I do? So then I go. So I was like, "Don't scream, you're gonna worry Layla and stuff." I'm like, "I've got a mouse in my fucking hand." Go in the front door, and I throw the mouse really far away, over to the neighbor's house, as you do. Uh, and I thought that was the end of the story. I wish it was. Were owners of 12 little baby mice. No, I'm kidding. No. But the next day, Sarah is going to work in the morning, and she's like, "Mok, you never guess who's in front of the front door." I'm like, "Who?" She's like, "Your mouse." She's like, "I could see your mouse in the front door. I haven't opened the front door yet, but I could see the mouse." I'm like, "Shit, maybe he's trying to get back in." So the mouse managed to know his way back home. But home, it's my
Yeah,
house,
yeah,
but you know. And by the time I came at night, I found the mouse outside the front door, dead. Unfortunately, the cold got to him.
yeah.
Yeah, so then Sarah's like, listen, you should pick up the mouse and throw it in the bin because, it's not nice there. It's at the entrance. And I'm like, Sarah, are you kidding me? The mouse left us a gift. She's like, what is that? I'm like, as long as this mouse is outside my front entrance, no one's coming to visit us. Not your mother, not those stupid, annoying salespeople. No one. I said, it's amazing. No one's going to want to come to the house with a dead mouse outside its door. No one. So I left it there for a few hours, and then I said, I'll pick it up. And I kind of, weirdly enough, had a bit of sympathy at the end for the mouse because I kind of respected the fact that he came all the way from the neighbor's house, again, to my house. Also, that he survived all these traps that I set up where he managed to get the food. And also that, like I felt bad for it because it wasn't like a rat. You can't feel bad for rats. You know what I mean? Like rats can get any torture they do. I'm okay with that. But mice, they're small, they're kind, they look friendly. They just eat crumbs. I don't know. You know?
Yeah, but I mean, where do they live normally? In sewers? Or is that just rats?
So I'll explain. I'd say there's two types of mice. I know there's city mice and the what you call it, rural mice.
Really? I didn't know there was such a
Yeah,
thing.
the rural mice would live in like forest, fields, things like that. They're very nocturnal, while the city mice are both nocturnal, I think, and day ones. By the way, this information is not like, it's either things I read or things people told me. So, don't quote me on every word I'm saying. And as well as a fable from when I was a kid about the city mouse and the rural mouse made me think, oh yeah, that makes sense. There's two type of mice. Let's make it down to two.
Well, if your information is wrong, you can always just post it on Twitter and someone will tell you
Yeah,
how
yeah,
it's wrong.
yeah. Yeah. Some mouse doctor.
Yeah.
Not
it's
even
not
a
even
vet.
it's not even a mice doctor or something, but like just people, they
Yeah,
know
yeah, yeah,
stuff
yeah.
or they
Of
pretend to
course.
know stuff.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
I give them credit. A lot of times they do know stuff. So
yeah. I'm not a fan of Twitter, I must say, by the way. You mentioned it there.
why? I love Twitter.
I don't know, I find it like I've tried everything in terms of trying, not using, but like I've tried Instagram, I've tried Facebook, I've tried, I wouldn't call
High
WhatsApp
five.
stuff. Badoo.
Yeah, but
I've tried what do you call it, Twitter, Reddit, etc. Definitely my favorite is Reddit.
do you ever
Um,
wait? By the way, do you ever read Quora?
Sometimes I ask questions in Quora or I get answers in Quora.
Yeah, I
I like
find the
Quora.
quality is not bad sometimes.
Quora is much more like, don't bring it out of subject. We're not looking for comedy. We're not looking for this. If you have an answer, answer. If you don't have an answer, don't answer and waste people's time. That's a bit Quora. But it's good for information. At least you kind of, people, you don't usually say like yes or no. They usually give you a big paragraph about why their yes is
Yeah.
justified. Twitter doesn't do that because it doesn't even allow you to enter as much characters, so you can't really justify your argument if you wanted to, which allows people that aren't looking to justify and just have an opinion about everything to be on there. But also, I find Twitter a bit more mean. Like the
It is
object of
mean.
the game is really to say something that could make fun of someone almost. It's like that. I don't know. There is like some normal comments, but a lot of it is, you know, attacking or controversial or, you know what I mean?
It is. It's all one-upsmanship. That's all it is.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
but it's good for information. You get the latest information. Also, if you want to
I
find
don't
out
know.
all sides of a topic, you just follow the hashtag. You'll find every opinion possible to man,
Mm,
in those tweets.
I don't know. I find that Reddit allows me in one central place to get the information from hundreds of other places, if that makes sense. So, like, you find the subreddit page you like, whether it's the MMA one, whether it's Gunners, whether it's shower thoughts, whether it's stand-up comedy, whatever it is, you find the subreddit page you like. Whether you Google what are the best subreddit pages to follow about history or about this, and you find the interesting ones and you add them. And number one, the content is always very specific to what you like, because I don't like when who posts a million things about flowers and only one or two things about something you like. I don't know why I said flowers. Like, I hate flowers so much. But the other thing as well with Reddit, which I like, is it still searches Twitter. Like everything is linked from something that was posted on Twitter will go on Reddit, something that was posted on Facebook, something that was posted on an Instagram account of a person that you follow. So it's all centralized for me. And the people of the community is nicer. I like the community. Like there is bands and there is jokes and there is people, but it's very respectful still. It's, like when someone, for example, might make a joke that sounds really funny, but it's borderline racist. Twitter always crosses that borderline. Reddit doesn't. I'm
Okay.
giving an example.
Why?
Like,
I thought Reddit people on Reddit are trolls.
no, no. It's usually very much, I'd say, an older almost community. I never feel that when I'm using Reddit, I'm in conversation with a 12-year-old or 18 or 20 or etc. Twitter is definitely the troll place.
Ah, interesting.
That's what I
My
feel.
impression of Reddit was different
Oh,
then.
Reddit is, uh, I'd say, if Quora and would be for people maybe more that use it that are my mom's age. I use Quora sometimes, I even use, what's the other one that my mother uses? Pinterest, something.
Pinterest.
Yeah, I don't like, again, when I use it, it's like my mother sends me articles and says, look at this recipe, it's amazing. And I'd use it that way. And not necessarily I'm on Pinterest looking for things. But I have an account with Pinterest. But anyways, the point is Reddit would be more our age.
Yeah.
I find that it's more our age categories. Twitter would be obviously for everyone, and Instagram would be much more younger. Like you don't have that many old people on Instagram or Snapchat.
I'll tell you what, I think Twitter is probably the most uh, liberal, and I mean liberal in the sense that they're free oriented and so they let everyone do everything.
Yeah,
So you can post a porn video on Twitter and they'll allow it.
yeah,
Whereas on Instagram, if you have a nipple showing, they'll censor that.
yeah. It's like we're models, we're not porn stars, okay? Yeah, right.
Yeah, yeah. And actually, I don't know if I used the word censor correctly because I think it's not really censorship if Instagram take down your photo. They have the right to do so. It's their company,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah.
Um,
And to be honest, what I realized as well is that a lot of the time with those socials, most of the time they don't really have an opinion. For example, right, if you're accused of things like celebrities, I'm talking about the big guys that are accused of Me Too or stuff like that, they will still have a Twitter account that's active.
yeah,
So like
yeah,
Twitter wouldn't get involved in any of that stuff. Like you could have killed someone if you opened a Twitter account, you can still have one. If you know.
yeah. I mean, OJ's on it.
OJ's perfect example.
Yeah, I actually follow the guy
But
just because I'm interested
so
in his psychology.
I kind of find it funny then because like I wonder if Charles Manson is he still alive? No, he died. Charles Manson, right?
I think he did.
Yeah, or Ted Bundy or one of those
I
guys. And
I probably
nowadays,
would have followed Charles
yeah,
Manson again, I like to analyze crazy people's psychology to see like how they behave and if they have any signs that you can
it's
pick
so
up.
weird though.
But I think wait, we skipped something that we shouldn't have, and you said Ted Bunny,
Oh, did I?
Ted
Yeah,
Bundy.
Bundy. That's what I said, but like it might have come out as Bunny.
Yeah,
Um, but yeah, like if they had a Twitter account nowadays, right? And no, sorry, not Twitter. If they had an Instagram account nowadays, and every single picture of theirs was, completely with clothes and everything, but they did kill a lot of people, but they had always worn clothes when they posted their Instagram photos. It'd be funny for a girl who's never done anything bad, who's showed a bit of nipple, to be censored, but Ted Bundy to be
yeah, but again, it's not really censorship because Instagram has the right to do
yeah, yeah,
that.
yeah. It's not censorship. It's not
Uh,
like you're banned from the world.
Censorship would be if you wrote a book,
Mm,
right, and you find the publisher that's willing to publish it,
mm,
right,
mm.
but then the government says no, you can't do it.
Yeah,
That's censorship
yeah,
because the government has a gun to your head
Yeah,
and saying no, you can't do that, even though you have people who have agreed to publish it and
yeah.
people who are voluntarily willing to buy it.
Censorship is
But
yeah,
the difference with Instagram is you sign up to Instagram, you agree to some rules before you sign up.
yeah,
So you say, okay, no nudity, and then you post nudity. They're not censoring you, they're just honoring a contract that you've already signed with them.
yeah, yeah. Exactly.
So they're not holding a gun to your head saying
Go
you
somewhere else
can't
and put
post
them where you're
nudes. Yeah,
allowed. Make your own
that's right.
website and post as many nudes as you want, and let people go to your website.
Exactly. So
There's a
that's
way.
why I wouldn't call it. I think the only time censorship can exist is through government when
Yeah.
there's force. You know,
Yeah. You know what's funny, by the way? We're talking about sensory and all that. All these people on those Love Island shows, etc., they're all like super Instagram, and I'm pretty sure they've showed a lot of skin without being
oh yeah,
censored.
yeah. I mean, just getting on Love Island almost guarantees you a certain amount of followers
Yeah.
and a certain amount of deals that you can make with companies, just advertisement deals and all that
Magazines,
kind of stuff.
interviews
Yeah.
afterwards. Also, like, yeah, as you said, you get loads of probably freebies with phone contracts, phones, and technology
Yeah,
or
you start getting free
free
stuff.
stuff all the time.
But I think they need to change the price of Love Island because they offer people 50 grand, right? That's nothing.
Nothing.
Even a person who gets knocked out on the first week will make more than that just by being on the show for a
You know
week.
why they do? They only offer them 50 grand
Why?
because they don't want to concentrate that the point of the show is the money part. They want to concentrate that the point of the show is to fall in love. But if you only do the fall in love part, right, no one will go on the show because they'd be like, this is ridiculous. I'm never going to meet the boyfriend, etc. So they have to kind of make it an attraction. So you're technically going to make, in any case, more than 50,000. So you
Yeah,
don't
no matter
care
what.
because you know that you're going to do that. You don't care about the 50 grand, if that makes sense. And you'll concentrate on selling the show like, I want to find someone. As
But
opposed to,
they
like,
could.
if technically I can go on the show and I can be like, I'm in for the 50 grand, guys. I'm going to play along. I'll, be with one of you and couple and recouple. My whole point is to me and you win the 50 grand and we split them. We get 25 each. I buy myself a Mazda RX-8.
Yeah, okay. That was like the most famous or common car in
Yeah,
Cyprus at
yeah,
one
in
point.
2007, whatever it was.
Yeah.
But like, like no one ever is honest about that because they know they're gonna make more money anyway, so they might as well sell the whole to be liked and to get the votes in the future from people. I guess they have to sell the I met the girl of my dreams and I need this honeymoon to continue. So please vote for me.
No, but look, what about this, right? Because I think the last episode of every season when they decide, oh, are you gonna take the money or are you gonna split it, right? That's so uneventful. I mean, come on, no one's ever gonna take the money, right? Because they already know they've made more money than that.
I take the money
Just by
because
being.
this way I'm cut off everything else and I'm okay with it.
No, but look, no one will ever take the money. They'll always split it.
Also, because
What
I'm
if they
married.
offered them? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
What if they offered them something like better than money?
Yeah.
Like a 10-year sponsorship deal or whatever it could be. I don't know. Like it could be something like you split 50 grand, or you can have your own show for 10 years and you're guaranteed,
I'd
this
say
or
I'd
that.
say for 1 year because what they can do, they have an
Yeah, I know.
after
What
show. I don't watch the after show or anything like that, but they have an
they
after show.
record it opposite my house.
Oh no way!
Yeah.
What, Love Island or the after show?
No, the
Oh,
after
I was
show. The
wondering.
after
I'm
show.
like, is this a scam? Is the villa really in like Watford?
No.
With solar panels on the top or something like this.
Yeah, that's right.
You seem it's always sunny. No, but I like if they make you like host the after show for the next year, you'll be on the panel. You know what I mean? Like that would be a good prize, and then you get paid
But
for a
no,
year.
because you could still kind of do that by being on Love Island. You can host a lot of stuff.
Mm.
You become a celebrity in your own right. So
Yeah.
I don't know what they can offer you that'll make you at least consider screwing your other half over.
Because it'd be more
You know,
TV if you screw the other person over. I agree. It's better TV.
yeah, it's better TV, and at least you're looking forward to some sort of
Yeah.
unknown drama towards the end.
Yeah.
Because really, the only thing, yeah, okay, you don't know who wins, but once you know who wins, that part is kind of
Yeah. Yeah.
meaningless.
Yeah.
And I think you can build up a whole show with more deception if the prize is so
Definitely. I mean,
great.
as much as you look under your blanket, you want to see the cringe moment. You want to you want there to be cringe moments in those kind of things. You want there to be like, oh my god, because you don't really care about the contestants. I don't know. I don't care about the contestants. I don't know if when I watched it a few times, I didn't care about any of the contestants, and in a spectator of Twitter type of way, because I'm not a participant in the bullying, but I don't mind seeing it. I'll be honest, if it's, they know what they're doing. I'm sure these people are completely with producers behind them saying, this is what you have to do, this is what you have to say, tell this guy
Oh
that,
yeah,
number one. But so this is why I'm okay with it, because they know as well that one aspect of it cannot be as real as it's happened in front of them. So I'm okay if there's just drama on TV for my entertainment. You know what I mean?
yeah,
I
but
know their
that
feelings aren't hurt, but what annoys me is that exactly that. It's like, like when they've been together for 2 days and be like, you're recoupling with someone else. Pa 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 pa. Pa, 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 and they will be like, what did you tell her? You took my girl? You just came in? And this is what people really are chasing. They're not chasing for, I really hope she meets the boy of her dreams. Everyone deserves love. I found love. No one is chasing that. No one wants that. It's not blind date. It's not take me out. It's we need some bitching here. We need women to fight and guys to get angry at each other.
but here's the thing, right? I think a lot of people figured out what the show is all about.
Mm,
And I think to win the show, you need to pretend that you're in a real couple and,
yeah,
that it's real,
yeah,
not that you're doing it for money or anything.
mm,
So people have figured that out. And so there's a lot of deception where people are able to act for the 4 weeks or 6 weeks or however long it runs for. They could do that. But then we don't know about the deception until after the show's ended and they
yeah,
break up a month after the
yeah,
show.
yeah, yeah.
And by then you don't really care. You're not
No,
really following them.
no,
What I would like is for them to give them some incentive to be exposed right there and then, at least in the final episode where there is a prize and the ones that are fake will go for that prize and they get exposed,
yeah,
you
yeah,
know?
yeah. I'd like that. At least there's, yeah. I was gonna tell you. Do you think the chemistry of the show would work? Like the whole point of the show would work if it was like average Joes, or like instead of, because at the moment the demographic, let's face it, it's like Instagram type of people with followers who, whatever, guys or girls who look, extremely like gym type of people, or super plastic surgery or Botox or whatever it is. And it's usually a age group, a demographic of between 20 and 25, let's say, right? Usually it's around that age group. And I realized that if you change things around, if you had an older age group, or if you had and like average Joe type of things. Like not everyone had six pack, and not everyone had super muscles, and not everyone had a personality. And you know what I mean? Like the guys, for example, they all seem to whatever have a type of personality and have some looks, But I'd love them to get a guy who's like chubby, just a little bit with his belly, or normal, but with an amazing personality, funny guy, kind, etc. And then get the guy with the muscles, but who's like a complete dumb guy, like doesn't know anything, doesn't understand anything, only likes to talk about his muscles. And I want to see those girls, if they stay true to their word about, I'd love him to have a nice personality, you know? You know what I mean? Like, at least mix it up like that because it makes it more interesting as well. You know, people that are watching this show are not people who are thinking I should be a contestant on a Love Island because realistically you need to be 20, 25 max, and you need to have etc. People that are watching this show a lot of the time, they are average Joes. They are like not Joes, Janes, because it's mostly women watching the show. Let's face it. I only watch it because Sarah puts it on. But if Sarah didn't have it on, I probably like if I'm home alone, I probably wouldn't like say, let me put an episode of Love Island and see what's up. You know?
Yeah. So I'll tell you what. I don't think
Hmm.
if you it would work with average Joes.
You wouldn't.
And I don't think the show could work at all. And the reason I think is because the show is Love Island, so it's about people falling in love
Hmm.
or being attracted to each other in a very short space, period of time. It's easy to do when everyone is good looking,
Yeah.
right? Because it's easy to fall for or to be attracted to good looking people. But if it's average Joes, they're not gonna, none of them, even if you're average, right? You still want to be, hook up with someone who's good looking,
Yeah.
right? Even if you're average, you're not going for people who are average too,
No.
or at least not at first.
Yeah.
So the show would
It's
have to take 6 months for people to kind of. There'll be a lot of friend zoning as well.
yeah, but that's the thing. You're right because it takes time to build that, to reach that point. There has to be some sort of attraction, and I'm not saying when I say average Joes, I don't mean like super. I'm not telling you to find the ugliest guy and the ugliest girl in the world. I'm saying to find decent looking people, but not necessarily people that are gonna be like extremely built and you know what I mean. Like that, all that doesn't need to happen.
Yeah, but again,
Yeah,
will they be attracted to each other right away? Because
yeah.
someone who's got a six pack,
Hmm.
every girl's gonna
Hmm.
want him at the beginning, or at least think of it
Yeah,
as desirable. Oh, this guy's good looking.
yeah,
Even if she's not attracted to him, she'll at least recognize it.
yeah,
And they need that quick fire attraction.
yeah.
Otherwise, the show is just gonna stagnate.
You're right. The funny part, just to end on this with the Love Island, but the funny part is they had a guy right in the beginning come in called Connor, right, and it's a guy who has like the typical English type guy who goes on holidays to Thailand.
What does he look like? Cause I
He's
watched the
got
first
he's got
episode
like
and I didn't bother.
haircut, like he's got the big white teeth, big white teeth.
What is he tall? Is he tall?
He's a white guy, big white teeth. Got them done in Thailand. Kind of like one of those short haircuts with a straight line.
Ah, yeah. And
And he's
wait,
going
he
out
look
with a darker girl. It's like a black British girl, I think. That's who he's with.
black girl.
Yeah, he was with her.
I thought the black guy. Well, I watched the first episode and the black
Not
guy
black
hooked up
girl,
with the
sorry,
black
not black
girl.
girl, but like métis.
Asian.
No, she's like half black, half white, maybe. She's like a lighter pale black girl. Or maybe she's not black at all. Maybe she's more.
I think I know who you're talking about. He's
She.
no,
Oh,
I
the
mean
guy,
I'm
yeah.
talking
The
about
big white
Connor.
teeth. The big white teeth.
I think I know who you're talking about.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
He's
You
not
can't
that
miss his
tall
teeth.
actually.
No, no. But it's not the
Yeah.
Indian guy that you're talking that maybe you're thinking. This guy has big white teeth. Let me send you.
No, I was thinking about the
The Indian guy.
really tall, big blonde guy who's like a lord or something.
Yeah.
That guy. But anyway.
Yeah. The other thing I was going to tell you, anyway, they got this Connor guy in. He's got big white teeth, and he's not tall, as you said. And then, like, a few days later, they got another guy called Connor, but that guy is like ex-rugby player. He's taller than me, super more built, tall and dark as well, like dark and handsome type of thing. But I just find it funny because the producers started calling the old Connor Lil Connor and this guy Big Connor. And the girl that Lil Connor had, she recoupled with the Big Connor.
Oh wow.
So it's like a boom. Lil Connor doesn't get it, yeah. But anyways, What was I gonna say, bro? Excited about this weekend?
Yes.
Nice.
Well, yes and no. I mean, yes, that the UFC is back
Yeah.
after 3 or 4 weeks. And no, because the card's very underwhelming.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know if there's any fight I'm really looking forward to
Mm.
in the main event, but again, I don't think it'll be a great fight. I think it's a tune-up fight for
I might
Conor.
wake up and watch it.
Obviously, I'll watch it. I'll definitely
No,
watch it. I mean, I watch all fight nights,
I might wake
even
up and
like,
watch it live. No,
ooh.
just the main event because it's around 5 o'clock the walk-in, right? Or four, maybe 4 o'clock, whatever it is.
Well, you know what? You're in Ireland, so you could go to a pub and probably have a great atmosphere.
Yeah, I'm not gonna bother with that. Not with that card. But like, if I'm at home and I know I'm gonna sleep, let's say early enough, I'll look into watching it potentially. You know.
Yeah.
But yeah, maybe I'll watch it live. Usually, all Connor cards I watch them live with my brother-in-law. But this year, this one, number one, it wasn't a great card, and number two, we're both busy, so we didn't. But usually, it's like a massive mug of coffee, and we just watch it. But usually, it has 2, 3 at least belt fights on a Connor card. You know. Now
Yeah.
it's like Holly Holm, as you said last time to me. Who cares?
Yeah, that's right.
You
That's
know. Who is it?
good fighter,
Who
but
is she
I'm not
fighting? Raquel
interested.
Pennington? Is that who she's fighting?
Yeah. I think they fought in the past
And
as well.
and I think Holly Holm won, but like it doesn't take you anywhere. The Pettis fight, weirdly enough, Pettis is the underdog in that fight, even though I thought Pettis would be favorite.
But again, Pettis has gone through the hype,
Yeah, he goes
hasn't
ups
really
and
lived up,
downs. Yeah,
and then he's like, I mean, he became champion, which was great.
yeah, yeah. Um,
Yeah, it's not.
and there's a couple other ones that are, I think in the heavyweight category or light heavyweight. I can't remember now. Do you have the card in front of you?
You know what? I'll pull it up.
Do.
Because again, I remember just looking at it and thinking, there's nothing there that excites me.
Okay.
Right, so Alexei Oleinik versus Maurice Green.
Oh
That
yeah.
could be an okay
Yeah.
fight. Heavyweight. Yeah.
That's it.
I remember. I know Oleinik. I don't know who Maurice Green is.
Sounds like a ex NFL.
Yeah, it does sound like that, right?
Is there any other welterweight fights?
No,
There's
that's
some
it.
fights coming up.
I'm not looking at the prelims or the early prelims. I just look at the main card.
I think.
And then there's another one, bantamweight Brian Kelleher
Yeah.
versus O'Day Osborne. So here's the thing, right? I think they think Conor is such a big draw that they could put anyone on the card and he'll still sell out.
Yeah.
And the truth is, with this one, it will sell out because it's like the first one of the new year.
Number one.
And there's been 3 or 4 weeks off.
Yeah.
People are gonna tune in, even if they're not that excited. And I'm one of them.
Yeah, exactly. And to be honest as well, if they did it later in the year, chances are the fight would be less relevant. Like Donald Cerrone, if you look at his last few fights, it's been very much a mix, and he's lost like 3 or 4 fights against decent people. You know what I mean? So it felt like if they delayed it more and Donald Cerrone would have gone again with a few losses, no one would want to see that fight. Now it's a good time, and I think Cerrone, did he win his last fight? No, he lost. I know he lost to Darren Till. He lost to
I think he fought. Is it Tony Ferguson his last fight? Maybe.
I don't remember.
It's either Tony. Who else? Who could he have lost?
So
I'll check.
But there was that as well, basically. You know, the fact that it makes more sense to make it now. I think that it's interesting. This welterweight is going to be my favorite division now if Conor stays in it, because there's a few things, right? There is Edwards against Tyron Woodley coming up. Let's face it, the winner
That's a good
The
fight.
winner's gonna want
And
the winner would want a title challenge.
by the way, I'm hoping that's going to be in London, and I'll be there to watch it
Nice.
live.
And the other one, beside Woodley Edwards, there is also Usman Covington possible rematch.
Or Masvidal. Usman
And then
Masvidal.
there's Usman Masvidal. And if Conor wins, he might want to fight as well or go up the thing. So there's about 5 or 6 proper contenders for Usman to have to beat, which I don't think he will beat all of them. Usman's much bigger for welterweight. Like, I think Masvidal probably stands the best chance to beating Usman, not because of size, but Masvidal will have reach. Masvidal, even though he's wild thingy, he's not like doesn't sacrifice on power or speed. So I feel that he has the best chance, Masvidal. Having said that, you never know. Usman still has crazy power, and he can still, it takes 2 seconds to win a fight.
Thing is, I think Masvidal has a really high fight IQ, and I
Yeah.
don't know if he gets credit. I think he gets credit from like fighters and
But no,
fans don't necessarily give him that credit.
Yeah.
But yeah, I did look up. Cerrone lost to Gaethje.
That's it. Gaethje it was. I remember.
that. Yeah.
Gaethje is another one that wants a title chance.
Yeah, I think he deserves something.
I would like to see
I
Gaethje
enjoy his fights. Yeah, I would like
That's
to
a
see
good
that too.
kind of like it would remind me a bit of the I'd say it would be better than the Alvarez fight where it'd be closer. Gaethje, I think, would do a much better job.
But look, it's gonna be if Conor wins, he'll fight Khabib next, I think, or Tony, whoever wins that fight. But to be honest, I think I would prefer Tony to beat Khabib, and then give Conor and Khabib a rematch. Let them fight it out. It doesn't matter. It's not for a title because I don't think Conor deserves a title shot so early anyway.
No,
but
especially in that division.
Yeah, especially in that division. I mean, if for anything, he's just a big name, but he hasn't earned his space, place in the ranking. No. But by the way, I'm looking at the fight night, which is just after UFC 246, and already 2 fights, the main event and the co-main, are more interesting than the 2 fights in this pay-per-view event. And so the main event is Junior Dos Santos versus Curtis Blades. That's a good fight.
That is a good fight. Curtis Blades had a few ups and downs. I think he lost to Ngannou, then he came back and beat like a lot of people, and he was doing really good. And then I think he lost one fight. I can't remember against who. If it was
No, he only ever lost to Ngannou twice.
Oh, twice. That's it. I think he fought him again, and then he lost again. Right? Twice to Ngannou, he lost.
He only has 2 losses, and those 2 losses are losses to Ngannou. He's beaten everybody else. I mean, everyone he's fought. He beat Mark Hunt and O'Malley. And he's got a no contest, but he did win that one, and he was overturned because he smoked weed.
Yeah.
So they might even give that win to him. I don't know if they go.
No, I don't think they'll go back once they do it.
But the co-main event, right? Rafael dos Anjos versus Michael Chiesa.
Oh, that is good. I think Chiesa lost his last fight, no?
Can't remember.
But yeah, that's good. And Dos Anjos, I haven't seen fight much in 2019, to be honest. Maybe once or twice max. I don't know. But he didn't fight much, Dos Anjos. He was very much,
So Chiesa actually won his last 2 fights.
Okay.
But if you look at his losses, they're all to good fighters. I mean, he's only lost 4 times.
Yeah.
Very good. Very impressive. But he lost to Masvidal, Joe Lauzon, Kevin Lee, and Anthony Pettis. That's it.
Really? By the way, also Anthony Pettis has his brother that fights in the UFC, Sergio Pettis. Really? Yeah, he's good. I don't know what his record is like, but I know he was all right. in terms of fighting. It's very hard, by the way, to like, you know, there's a lot of gatekeepers in the UFC, and I think they need to clean that. But the welterweight divisions has at least a lot to keep an eye on. Oh, by the way, I was looking at scheduled fights. John Jones has no scheduled fights yet, and it feels like it's been a while.
Wait, he does. He's UFC 247.
Is he? Who's he fighting in 247?
Yeah. Dominic Reyes.
John Jones is fighting Reyes. Is that like a confirmed fight?
Yeah,
And I was looking, John Jones. Oh, really? I didn't know.
Yeah.
Do you think Reyes stands any chance? No.
I think so. I mean, he's got power.
Yeah.
You know, good stand up.
Nice.
Obviously, I'd never bet against John Jones, but you know, you never
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
It's MMA. Like, it takes one shot.
Yeah.
But again, I don't think so. My money's on Jones.
Yeah.
But anyway, just before we wrap this up, I say let's do our predictions
Okay.
for this 246.
Let's go.
And then we'll call it a
All
day.
right.
I'll start with the first fight: Anthony Pettis versus Carlos Diego Ferreira.
I am still going to go with Pettis, even though Ferreira, for some reason, in the odds is favored.
Well, I'm going to go with bookies just because I haven't been impressed by Pettis.
Okay. That's fair.
All right. Next fight: bantamweight Brian Kelleher versus Ode Osborne.
I'm going to go with Kelleher, but I don't know any of them, to be honest.
I'll go with Kelleher as well, but I don't know either.
Sounds Irish, maybe. But yeah.
Yeah. All right. Next one: Alexei Oleinik versus Maurice.
I'm going with Olenik.
Me too, just because he's a veteran.
Yeah.
You know, he's got a great record.
It's not bad. He's also a gatekeeper, maybe top 10 or top 15, but yeah.
That's right. But he's actually a good
gatekeeper. Yeah.
All right, Holly Holm, Raquel Pennington.
You know what? Just because I want something to be different, I'm going to go with Raquel.
Okay. I'm going to go with Holly.
Yeah. Hey, can we review those results tomorrow if we do a little?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
And then Connor Cerrone.
Connor.
Yeah. 100%. No way.
Well, it's like if it's 5 rounds, you never know, but I think it will finish before round 3.
I'm thinking 2.
Yeah.
I think either round 1 or round 2. Yeah. It's over.
Nice, man. Well, look, it was really fun, man, and hopefully we can do that again tomorrow.
All right, cool.
All
right. Speak to you later, and I'm trying to think. I was trying to think of a nice.
Thanks everyone for watching. We'll be back.
Yeah, that's right. No, it's like, you know how they say, "I'll see ya." Not if I see you first, or you.
Bro. See
anyway.
You.
We'll leave it at that. Have a good day.
Send me the version after the link. Bye.
All right.